tight. It says we're live. So if anybody is here, which I see that Tracy's here, thank you so much. I hope you had a lovely day at the lake. My friend Second is here as well. So if you two can see/hear myself and Amber, that would be lovely. Do you want to check to make sure they can hear you too, Amber?
Can you guys hear me? I'm going to the live on my phone so I can see the chat more easily. So if I look down, that's why I'm looking down.
That's okay. So if you guys do not know Amber, I don't know how, but she is a part-time reseller like me, but she's also an actuary. That's her regular 9-to-5 job, and super smart, does really cool breakdown content for reselling. Primarily started off with Poshmark, right?
Yeah. I've been on Poshmark for 3.5 years now. And I've technically listed on eBay here and there when like I had a hard goods item that made sense. But I've only consistently listed on Facebook Marketplace and eBay for like 3 months now, 3 or 4 months. So I'm a relative newbie when it comes to eBay and Facebook Marketplace.
So what made you decide to start with Poshmark first?
I think it was, I'm trying to think back and remember. I don't know. I think I just started there because it was easy. And then also I wanted to create a YouTube channel and there was less Poshmark content. So you're laughing at Tracy's comment.
I am. Well, no, it's also, I was smiling because of your statement, because the whole reason I found your channel was actually because a lot of the other ladies, when the ladies that I just went to visit, you know, Victoria and Jessie and Alicia, like they've had so much success on Poshmark. I was trying to get more information about Poshmark in general.
Yeah.
So your video came up when I was searching Poshmark, and it was one of your comparable packaging.
Yeah, that was one of my first video ideas. So like when I started, I made a list of things that I like wanted to know more about that I thought might be good video ideas at some point. And as like when I was packaging for Poshmark, I like, you know, it says package with tissue paper, include a thank you note. And I'm like, do people really do this? Do people like, you know, wrap it like a gift? And so I'm like, if I have this question, other people have this question, and how can I answer it? And then I made a video around that idea. And then people really liked it. I'm like, this is like the easiest video on my channel. Like, I'll do this again. I'll do this again as many times as you guys want.
It's like I get to shop and also make a video out of it.
Yeah, right. And like the video, I mean, pretty close to pays for the packages. So
true. So okay, that's great. So when you started YouTube, was that just before they changed what you needed in order to get monetized? Or is that after?
I needed the 1,000 and the 4,000. So
okay,
it was after the changes. My dog is chewing a bone right next to me. I might go have him put up outside quick. Can you hear it? Is it distracting?
I mean, it's not distracting to me, but okay, so I'll just say hello to everyone. So again, hello, Tracy. Hi, Second. Hi, Wendy. Hi, Alicia. Hi, Jen. Brett, always a pleasure. Live long and prosper. Boldly grow. Thank you. Secrets of Wonderlust actually just, she's local to my area. So hello. I think you went with Veronica to the Bends and I didn't get to go. So hello, David. Hi, Rocky Mountain. Oh, there's Jessie. Hi, Jess. So that was one of the first videos I saw, was you doing the package comparison. And I thought that was really interesting because that was also one of the first questions I had, was like, because they say to do that on Etsy too, if you ever sell on Etsy, to like make it an experience. And I just never bothered to do that. If they say it's a gift, I ask, do you want me to gift wrap it? I will do that. But that's it. So like when I decided to do Poshmark, I bought like the cute mailers and all that stuff. And I realized that nobody does.
Yeah. I mean, that's, like I said, when I started, I just wrote down things that I have wondered about. And I'm like, these would be good video ideas. So then that's when I started the YouTube channel. And yeah, I think it's helpful to see that some people do package it really nice. Like you see, like in my videos, when I've done that, some of them have gotten candy or like little gifts or thank you cards. And then others, it's just the item in the box and that's it. So it just shows you there's a wide range of what people actually do, and hopefully helps people. Like, I've gotten so many comments on those videos being like, I feel so much better about my packaging now. Or like, I'm so much less nervous about my packaging now. And so, yeah.
Have you ever gone back after you did one of those videos and checked those stores to see if it's people like just clearing out their closet and like just trying to get rid of stuff that didn't package it well versus like people that are trying to like live the girl boss life?
Yeah, I've thought about doing a video where I only buy, like, I buy 3 packages from people with over 1,000 listings, and I buy 3 packages from people with less than 50 listings. And
I think that would be really cool.
Yeah, and I actually started it before. Like, I bought a couple from people with bigger closets, but then I wanted some other stuff, so I just bought some other stuff and then put it in the video. But it is an idea I've thought about more than one time, of doing a few from really big closets and a few from smaller closets.
So have you thought about doing that? Well, I mean, you kind of answered that, but it seems like right now your focus for content is trying out new platforms, because I know that you have a couple of goals of things that you're doing this year for your reselling business and for YouTube.
Mm-hmm.
How are those check marks coming along for your goals?
Yeah, so on YouTube, my main 2 goals are to hit 21,000 subscribers, because last year my goal was 20,000, and then the year went off the rails and I didn't post for 6 months and didn't make hardly any progress. So then I'm like, all right, next year we're going to make it 21,000 in 2021. And I'm on track for that. Like, I don't know. I'm on track.
I think it'll be like next month.
No, I think I'm on track for like fall. So, a couple months from now. And my other goal, which I'm probably not going to hit unless I just upload a ton in fourth quarter, which might not be a bad idea, but is 1 video a week. So 52 weeks. I mean, not 1 video a week, 52 videos total, which comes out to 1 video a week. So I'm definitely not on track for that. I haven't posted in the last 2 weekends. So, but I have one final requirement left before I'm done with all my actuarial professional things. And
right,
so
we talked about that.
Yeah, so I told myself, no, I'm not gonna do another video until I get this done. So that's why I haven't posted anything in 2 weeks.
Well, are you getting closer to that?
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, good.
Yeah, I've been making progress. The paper itself needs to be like 12 pages long. I only have 4 pages done, but I've done a lot of brainstorming on what I have left. Like, I put a lot of thought into what I need to put in the rest of it. And well, it's by Sunday night, so I will get it done.
Well, thank you so much for coming on here then. If you should be working on that.
I'll be able to get it done. I know for sure I'll be able to get it done. Otherwise, I would be prioritizing differently if I was worried.
Okay. I just wanted to make sure. Cool. So I find that very interesting about your channel too, because you have a pretty large channel. I mean, you're well over 19,000 subscribers. So I think you and a lot of Josh, even though now he's starting to focus on YouTube again, going back to being a full-time reseller, like neither of you have a consistent schedule to upload. It's you have an idea, you put a video up, and then your channel continues to do this.
Yeah. See, I have this pull between only making videos that I think are really good and making consistent videos. And sometimes I'll be more on the like, I should just make consistent videos. And then sometimes I'll be on the side of I should only post videos that I really like and I think are really good. And so I constantly kind of like pull back and forth between the two and which one is better. Because like pretty much all of my growth has come from my unique videos where they're like unique ideas or experiments or things that people are searching for. That's where almost all my growth has come from. And then the other ones, like I get views and like keep my subscriber base engaged, but I don't get that much growth from them. And I don't know. I just worry that stale ideas will just make people tired of the content.
Okay. So. I just thought that I've always just found that interesting. So I do always, whenever you upload, I think also because your uploads are not as often, your subscribers are actually very engaged. Like people that really love your content, and they know that they're going to get a quality video out of you regardless of when you upload. So have you noticed the last few videos that you've done a good turnout in the beginning when you upload?
Well, so my last couple Well, so one was a live, and my lives never do well, ever.
Ooh, I actually want to bring that up a little bit later, but go on.
Yeah, so that one didn't do well, but I knew it wasn't going to do well because it was a live. And then the one after that, it was like the third or fourth that I've done of a similar type of video. So again, not a unique video, and it didn't. I mean, it did well, but it didn't do well relative to the prior videos. So it's like ranking 9 out of 10 of my last uploads. But the before that, like the 4 videos before that, all did really well. So I don't know. For me, it feels like the topic of the video is the driver of the views, pretty much exclusively.
Hi, Amy. I'm also in Virginia. I actually wanted to bring that up. That was one of the things that was on my list, but I wanted to wait until Tommy and Tracy were here because one of the things that they talk about, that they've been talking about and has been a hot button topic, especially after the Reseller rally, separating lives from VOD content. Because people who do mostly VOD content and they do lives, it tanks their numbers.
What's the word said? VOD?
Video on demand.
Okay.
So VOD is the acronym for that. So you have VOD content and then you have your live content. Okay. And I think your videos about Facebook Marketplace tips and tricks is a great representation of that, because you basically had the same thing with just slightly different questions. You upload, an hour and a half VOD, which is basically the same thing of you mediating a live, except it wasn't live. It was just something you screen recorded, versus you doing the exact same thing with the exact same people with slightly different questions, but you did it live and it's only at 2,000 views.
Exactly what I was going to say. Perfect experiment, perfect case study. 2 extremely similar videos. One has, I think it's getting close to 25,000 now. The other one has 2,000.
It's at 27,000.
27? Okay, it's past 25,000. But pretty much the same content, like you said, in both. And the only difference is the medium. And I suppose, like, there's differences that come with it being live. Like, the pre-recorded one, I did cut out a decent amount of stuff where, like, we went on a tangent, or, somebody's video cut out, or, like, my dog's, just now when there's 2 on the boat, something like that, I could cut it out. So then maybe people clicked away less. But I do think that it just being live drove a lot of the views. Or the lack of views, I suppose I should say.
So what made you decide to do that, though? Since your Facebook Marketplace video was successful, I'm guessing your mindset was like, okay, well, this video did so well. This is obviously something people are looking for. Maybe giving them immediate help would be better, or what was your thought process for that?
Yeah, so the first video I went back and forth on whether I want to do it pre-recorded or live. And the people that I went live with also had pretty strong opinions on which way they wanted it to go. And so we kind of discussed it. And I'm like, I just think the views will be better if it's pre-recorded, and then we can cut things out and people will have less nerves. But there was still desire to do a live. And, I also had people telling me that they wanted me to do a live, like on the video in the comments, or messaging me saying, like, I love that video. Would you do a live where we could actually join and ask questions ourselves? Like, that video, you asked the questions, but could we have one where we ask the questions in the chat? I'm like, okay, well, the people I'm doing it with want to do it live. People watching my channel want me to do it live. So let's try it. Let's do it live. So it was really driven by, I guess, demand is how I did it. So
that's something that I've learned a lot from Twitch, is that I love my subscribers. I love my followers. I love my viewers. But the things that they say that they want versus what actually gets watched are not the same things. Well, they have never been the same things.
So I've learned, okay, if I put a poll that says, would you be interested in a video on this topic, yes or no? That result is not very helpful in terms of, it doesn't always correlate with the views. But if I put a poll that says, which of these 5 videos would you be most interested in watching? That one does. From my experience in the polls I've done, whatever ranks the top, well, pretty much it goes in order of the rank. Like, if I post all the videos I put in that poll, the views will be in the order of how the responses were.
Wow, really?
Yeah, so far anyways, when I've done the, like, which of these videos would you most interested in, the views line up almost perfectly with the results of the poll.
That's really cool.
Yeah. But then I've done one where I was like, would you guys watch this? And everybody says yes, and then, like, nobody watched it. Or, like, I should trust my gut. Or I should have put it up against other videos and had people respond.
So I was looking at your channel, and the most viewed video is about Birkenstocks.
Mm-hmm.
What made you decide to make that video? Or you just wanted some evergreen content?
I was trying to clean a pair of Birkenstocks, and I searched it on YouTube, and all the videos were terrible.
What do you mean terrible?
I mean, they were super long. They didn't get to the point. They had like a 50% like to dislike ratio. And I was like, here's an opportunity. Let me find a recipe somewhere or some solution that people say will work. Try it, and then upload the video of my experience. And I did that, and it did well. So I just wish I could find more often ideas that there's not content already on YouTube, because I think that's the key.
That actually fits in with like a reselling niche.
Yeah. I mean, I created one about my COVID symptoms, but I just created a separate channel.
Right. And then have you done anything more with that channel at all?
No, I haven't. But it's there if I need
it. It has COVID, and that's all it has.
Yeah, that's it.
So I think we're going to go back to an earlier thing where the content you've been making now has been like you went on a couple of trips and you bought large groupings of things, and now you are doing these videos because one of your goals is to branch out onto other platforms like Facebook Marketplace and eBay. And so you're making these videos like, okay, I'm listing the same thing, same price on all three platforms. What made you decide to do it that way? And then also, I really think that those videos are a key indicator for people how important cross-listing is.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But like, what made you decide to branch out that way?
When you say that way, you mean pricing it the same?
Well, yeah, pricing it the same, because one of the things that when I started doing Poshmark is I noticed that because the fees are higher, some items you can get more money on Poshmark to help balance out that fee. Mm-hmm. And I've also noticed that some items have a higher selling, like you can get more money on a platform or another platform. So I found it very interesting that you just, listed it all the same.
Yeah, I wanted it to be a clean experiment. Like, I'm not going to go in with any preconceived notions about what's going to sell where for what prices. Or, like, I'm not going to say, I'm going to list it lower on Facebook Marketplace because there's less fees. Because then I, like if you're doing an analysis, you can't say for sure that the driver of more sales on Facebook is because the platform itself is giving you more sales. It might just be because you have a lower price, and that's the driver. And if you would have put that lower price on Poshmark, maybe you would have actually had more sales there. So the only way I could have a clean analysis was to say, we're going to make the price the same and basically make what the buyer pays the same, except for the shipping costs, because that varies by platform. So that would be a platform specific trait that I could reflect. So,
well, though it wouldn't just be that as a platform specific trait because of the fact that you have an established Poshmark closet.
Yeah, that's what I'm going to talk about in my next video, because Poshmark has like taken off the last couple of weeks and it's ahead of the others now in the comparison. And so I'm going to talk about there how, like, maybe on my, staler inventory, because I have viewers going to my closet, that I have more traffic there than I do in my other two platforms. But yeah, I think if Poshmark was ahead, I would be talking about that more. Like, Poshmark has an unfair advantage. But since they're behind, I haven't really talked about that much because, I don't know, I talk about the other platforms more.
Okay. Then, what was it? So you're doing that. So why did you decide to do reselling? And, well, I know that you decided to do YouTube around reselling, but like, why reselling and YouTube? Both. Like, what made you decide to start a YouTube, and what made you decide that reselling was going to be it?
Yeah, so when it comes to like going to garage sales, going to thrift stores, I've done that my whole life and I've always loved it. But I definitely got to the point where I was like, I love going to garage sales, but I don't need more stuff. Like, I don't really need this much more stuff. And then I think there's a channel called Best Dressed. She has like a couple million subscribers at this point, but she was, at the time, she was like buying things at thrift stores and then selling them on Depop, and she would buy like vintage and like things that are really in style. And I think that maybe that was the first channel that I got the idea of like, oh, I can still go to garage sales and just flip the stuff online instead of keeping it for myself. And then I think probably I came upon other reseller channels. I know before I started a channel, I watched Rosa Klochkov and Shailene Sean, and so I know I watched them before I created my own channel. So I was definitely watching reselling content, and like I consume a ton of YouTube. So I always knew I wanted to make a YouTube channel, but I didn't know what topic to make it about. So I thought for a long time about making a channel about my career, like my field of study, but I really didn't want to. But I wanted a YouTube channel, so I would had like a list of ideas, and I'm like, I just don't want to do this. Like have YouTube or have actuarial science in my job and what I'm studying and on my YouTube channel. Jack, this is so strange. Jack never chews on bones, but now that I'm live, he's like, I want all the bones in the house.
It's okay.
Can you take the bones away from them so that you can hear it on the live?
That's okay. So I have a question. So in your first live that I was watching earlier today, it says your sister was super excited because, this is like in 2018 when she was still in high school. Like she was super excited when you got 200 subscribers. Like have your sisters changed their opinion, or are they even more excited and supportive now?
I don't know how they feel about it. They don't really ask me about it that much or, bring it up that much. I think I'm trying to think. I don't know. My youngest sister, she like really wanted to go to Denver with me and was like really hoping somebody would recognize me. And I was like, Erin, like, don't set this up. Like you're setting the bar like really too high. And then the first store we walked in, someone recognized me, and she's like, "I knew it was gonna happen." And I'm like, "Thank you, thank you for coming up, because now it's off the table. It happened." But I don't know. Other than that, they're just, I don't know. They don't really talk about it or comment about it or anything. And
well, it's fun.
Yeah, it just is what it is at this point. I think at the beginning though, I remember being so excited when I got like 50 subscribers, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, 50 people are subscribed to my channel." And I would like watch it every day, like, oh, it went up by 2, or something like that. Yeah.
And now with the way things have changed, it's still, you can still see it go up by 2, but it's more likely to show like 20 or 200 versus 2.
Yeah, and I remember like I said when I was saying, my last video didn't do that well, but I'm like, 4,500 views. I'd be so happy with that a couple years ago. So like, I just got to put it in perspective. Like that's still a lot of views.
So Jen asked, do you and your sisters look for the same things at garage sales?
So my sisters are generally looking for things for themselves. So they're just looking for things in their size or for their houses. And I always give them dibs. Like there's something I want to resell, but they want to buy it. They get to have it in front of me. So,
but I have seen them pick stuff up and ask if it's something you want though.
Yeah, they pick stuff up for me. But in terms of like us fighting for things, doesn't really happen. And like my mom loves to go and pick up stuff for me, and one of my sisters does as well. And my sister, so I have 4 sisters: Amber, Beth, Cassie, Deanna, and Erin are the 5 of us. And so Beth, she buys so much stuff at garage sales, but she has 3 kids and she buys it all for them, like kids' clothes, kids' toys. And then Cassie, she goes to garage sales and she always buys stuff for me. And then Deanna, I feel like she goes to garage sales, but she doesn't really get that excited about it. And then Erin likes going, but she always finds stuff for herself, like clothes and shoes and stuff for herself. And then she'll pick up stuff for me every once in a while. But my mom and Cassie pick up a lot of stuff for me.
So I have a question. Have you convinced your mom to resell with you? Because your mom has fire taste.
I know. It's so crazy. Like she'll pick up like something that's definitely like something from Walmart, and then right next to it's like something that's like $150. I'm like, well, just keep randomly picking things up because you've got it. Like it just works out. That some of them are so good. But yeah, I don't know. I think maybe if we lived in Denver, she would, but she lives in really small town Iowa, so it's kind of hard.
Okay, and then Alicia asks, are you on TikTok?
No, I'm not. And I wasn't on Instagram for like 2 years or a year, at least a year after I started my channel. And then people kept asking me to get an Instagram, and then finally I was like, I mean, it's easier to message people if you have an Instagram, so I'll get one.
That's interesting, though, that you chose Poshmark as your primary platform, but didn't have Instagram, because those seem to go together very, very closely. So
yeah, I'm trying to think back why I don't know. Maybe it's just because the people I had watched always had Poshmark, or I know part of it too. Like I said, was it was something new that like there wasn't a ton of content already there. So
that makes sense. Now, did you do a lot of collabs? I know you did initially a collab with Courtney, I think, Common Tags.
Yeah.
In the very beginning, when you both were small.
Well, so when she reached out to me, I mean, at the time, I don't remember the numbers, but like, let's say, I'm going to guess she had like a couple hundred and I had like a few thousand. So relatively, I actually had someone be like, can't believe you collab with her. Like, she's so much smaller. I'm like, so? Like, I like her content. Like, that's not how it works in my world. Like, you just find people that you vibe with and, you know, support them. So, yeah, I collabed with her. In Becky Park, we did, the three of us did a collaboration. And I don't know if I've collabed with anybody else. I've shouted out Lonnie at Shed Flips a couple times, and he shouted me out. And I got like 1,000 subs in a day from Lonnie. So I'm definitely indebted to him. And I probably sent him like 5 subscribers, but and I'm trying to think. I don't know if there's anybody else. I know a lot of Josh, like I mentioned him before, and I think he's mentioned me as well. But
yeah, and Matt and Thrift of Life, you've talked to him about him before as well.
Too. Yep. Yeah, I think you do have to be kind of selective though, because you get associated with whoever you talk about, and so if they get into some shady stuff, I don't know, people associate with them, so you got to be particular is what I've learned over time. But I think that other people I've talked about are just like people I reviewed mystery boxes for, but those weren't collaborations.
No, those are not collaborations. I didn't know if you wanted to talk about that, because if you sort by your most viewed videos, the trending topic is one of the top 5. So I didn't know if you wanted to just avoid that altogether or not.
Okay. I'll talk about whatever's on my channel.
Okay.
I think the mystery boxes are so interesting because people love them. Like, I didn't do them. I haven't done them now for, I think, at least 2 years, if not more. And for like the first year that I didn't do them, I would get comments every single video being like, when are you going to do another mystery box? How come you haven't done a mystery box? When are you going to do another mystery box? And like the only thing I was known for, I feel like, was mystery box. Not the only thing, but that was like, when people would talk about my channel, they would only talk about mystery box reviews. And they just caused so much drama that I was like,
what do you mean they caused drama?
Because I went in with good intentions. I went in trying to do an unbiased review, hopefully finding some good boxes. And after the first one was bad in terms of like it, I didn't recommend it. I asked people like, what's a good box? Like, I want a good box. So I tried another one and it was not good. Then I tried another one and it was not good. And so every time I reviewed something and gave it a bad review, the person I reviewed didn't like me. Their followers would, you know, write mean comments. And then I would do it again. And then I would have the same thing over and over again. And yeah, it just, I couldn't believe it was so drama inducing. It created so much drama.
But did that also create growth because you were giving honest opinions?
Yeah, it definitely created growth. And like my first mystery box review, which was from Nicole State's box, I got 1,000 subscribers in like a week because, and people still, like Lonnie was like, yeah, I found your video because of that Nicole State review. And like, it was so nice to see someone who just unbiased and just showed the items that didn't talk about the person. But I don't, those aren't his words exactly, but that's the kind of thing that people would tell me all the time. And yeah, it's like, I know I could get another surge of growth if I were to just, like the merch, I knew the boxes were coming out. I'm like,
oh, have you seen the views some of those videos are getting on like the tiniest of channels?
Yeah, and I saw that the boxes are coming out. I'm like, I could order one and get a ton of views, but I know it's going to be bad, and I don't want to do that. Like, I don't want to go in with expectations that this is going to be bad, or like going in with expectations that I'm going to be steering people away from somebody.
So Tracy asked, how much time do you spend on Instagram?
I don't know. I check it a couple times a day. More than that. My husband's laughing. I check it daily. I don't post on my what's it, like my feed or whatever.
Like your stories?
No, I post on my stories, but like an actual post, I never do that. But I post on my stories a lot.
Hi, Ginger. So, okay. If you ever want to unbox again. So, have you thought about doing that again? Because it's been a long time since you've opened up a mystery box of some sort.
Yeah. I
Are
know.
you just like, nah, I'm good.
Hey, Josh. It's so fun seeing Josh back in chats and stuff.
I know, it's so nice to have Josh back. Like,
Hi,
I
Kathy.
said,
Hi, Jen. Hi, Tommy. Hi, Tracy. Hi, Vero.
yeah. Hi, Ginger. So, let's see, what's the next thing?
Oh, you asked if I'll do boxes again.
Yes, ma'am.
Probably not. I've been intentionally not doing them. I might. No, I don't. The other problem with it is I get a really bunch of bad inventory, and then I have to spend time listing that. So that's the other issue. Is like, yeah, the video gets views, but I create drama, I create enemies, and I have to spend time listing it. And like that's time I could be spending listing good inventory. So
Right. And stuff you're more interested in picking out because you picked it out instead of just stuff that you had.
And I would be going into it with the intentions of only doing the video because I'm getting growth from it. And I don't want to do that.
Okay. It's a moral thing. I totally respect that.
Like I wouldn't, if I didn't have a YouTube channel, I would not buy a mystery box. So then I'm literally only doing it because people want to watch it. I don't know. I just don't like the idea of that.
Okay. So I have another question. So I have been absolutely loving the fact that you have been foraying into hard goods, but hard goods the way I do them and not the way most resellers do them. So what made you decide to start doing breakables?
I mean, I have like in my head a list of things that people say to look for, and I just happen to find a bunch of dishes. Like every time I go out, I find some good dishes, and I find some more good dishes, and yeah, so pretty much that's what happened. Is like I just have like a list of things that I know look for, and dishes just happen to be what's been available, which maybe is because people don't want to sell them, and that's why I'm finding them.
Yeah, no, that's my primary sourcing thing. Like is because of the fact that that's what's left behind here because there are a lot of resellers in my area. Like I see at least 5 resellers whenever I go to a thrift store, but it's either people that are doing a lot of clothing or people that are doing the typical hard goods, which are your electronics and your video games and stuff. So I never find that stuff. Or they're like doing jewelry or shoes or even a lot of time picked over. Like glass and breakables are something that can be almost as time intensive as far as learning brands and stuff as trying to learn women's fashion. But there's so much of it, especially in my area. Have you found a lot of like really good stuff? Have you been having a lot of success with that?
So I haven't done any glass, and I've only done dishes. So the first was like plates, bowls, a set of dishes from Le Creuset, and then a set of dishes from Fiesta Ware, and then a set from Pottery Barn, and then another set from Fiesta Ware. So it's been all dishes, and I've just broken it up. So it's been like probably 10 to 12 listings that I've sold. So I feel like I'm definitely still, just dipping my toes in the water. And I've had one plate break of everything I said.
Aww.
Yeah, so I did have one that had a break. And every time that like breakable gets to the buyer, I think they've all been on eBay except for one item that sold at Poshmark. But every time I get to the buyer, I'm like, please give me feedback. Like I spent so much time on this. And in my head, I'm like, why don't they ever give me feedback? Like I worked so hard and it didn't break when I got to them. And they didn't leave me feedback.
Like you have to extra package. Like if you look a lot at my feedback when I'm selling breakables, a lot of times it's like super extra packaged or blah blah blah. But I like apparently package things too much.
Yeah, but you do get a lot of feedback about the packaging.
I do, yeah.
Yeah.
Ooh, thank you, Tracy. I'm going to write that in my notepad so I can look that up. I have a discontinued pattern for sale and nobody wants it. So apparently nobody likes yellow Fiesta Ware. So because I saw you doing purple Fiesta Ware and that you already started selling it. And I'm like, what am I doing wrong? Nobody likes my yellow stuff.
So I also learned when I was listing that purple that there's a discontinued purple color that's worth so much money. It's like,
oh,
someone had like just like I think it was a pitcher that they sold for like 300, and there were like a couple plates that sold for 100 or 200. I don't know. It's like a color that was only sold for 2 years in the 90s. and it's like a light purple color. So I'm looking for that. Probably will never find it, but
there's that one, and then there's a green color as well that's super awesome to be on the lookout for.
Okay, good to know. Well, I was reading about like a certain orange color that's like they call it radioactive. You probably know way more about this than I do. It's like radioactive because it's like an orange color.
I do not, but my friend Victoria from Super Geeked probably does. Like there are certain very specific genres that I am hyper interested in.
Yeah.
And so that I like know a lot about, but I just have a general knowledge of what I should look out for. And then that general knowledge helps me magically pick out good stuff. Because a lot of the places I go to, the hole in the wall thrift stores here, they don't have cell reception. So sometimes I actually don't know what something is worth until after I get out to my car.
So I know you like to pick up mugs. What is your other, like, what niches within breakables do you feel like you're the most comfortable, or like do you have the most expertise in?
For breakables, it would just be mugs. It would legitimately just be mugs. I can tell normally if something's quality by picking it up because of how much heft it has into it.
Yeah.
That's about it. I do like collecting made in occupied Japan ceramics. I really like dragonware too. If you can find it, dragonware is beautiful, but I don't find very much of it.
I'll have to look it up.
So dragonware is a type of patterning. It's not a specific. It's not a specific maker. It's all made in Japan. But the older the dragonware, the more valuable it is, and the more ornate it is, the more valuable it is as well.
Wow, they're really cool looking.
Yeah.
Do you watch Over the Years?
I do watch Tim.
Yeah.
And then he mentions he doesn't believe in dinosaurs. And then I stop watching for a minute and then I watch again because he's so awesome. Like he has the best personality. He's super high energy. I love him and Ma Dukes, like they're back and forth with each other. He's so knowledgeable when it comes to glass. It's insane to listen to his knowledge. But I will admit, I did unsub when he said that, and I realized he was serious. And then I resubbed about 2 days later when he put out another video because I was just like, you know what? That's why, Tommy, I really hope at some point I'll be on your channel. You can ask me that question, and then I will talk about how dinosaurs are real and like explain the fossilization of bones process and why they're not in museums anymore. But yeah, no, I love watching his channel, and I love, like, I wish Josie was in it more often because I think she's awesome as well. So.
Yeah, I met them at the Reseller rally. They were super, super nice people. Like, every time I watch his sales, I'm like, what can I do with this stuff? Like every time I see something, I'm like, what would I do with that? So I haven't bought anything yet, but someday, I mean, I bought like a little thing, but someday I'll buy something really cool.
Yeah, but for me, I find it very impressive because glass is very difficult because there's a lot of really old glass that is not marked at all, or there's many time periods and many makers of glass that actually had like a little paper sticker to denote what it was and to note who made it. So if you're not just super knowledgeable in those areas, you're not going to know what it is. So if you just like watch one video of his a week, you're going to learn so much.
Yeah, no, I've been watching it weekly for a while now because it's just interesting. It's like something I literally know nothing about. And so it's fun to just watch and learn.
Yeah. A live debate about, I don't know. I think that would get heated pretty fast. Yeah. Kat does a lot of breakables as well. I think Kat just picks up anything she thinks can make her money, and she is like 99.9% correct. She just knows what's going to get her money, and she's awesome. And I'm so glad that she's getting to spend more time with her family and being able to make that transition over, because she's a really good reseller, just a stellar reseller.
I want to say hi to Brett. I don't know if I've seen you in my comments before, so thanks for watching. I saw you commented earlier that you've been watching my videos lately, so thank you for watching.
Josie is not a paid actress, Tommy. You can tell she's super smitten with that man. Okay. Do you have any questions for me? I feel like I've asked you a lot of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I'm most interested. Well, I guess the thing I'm most interested in is your Twitch channel. So
Okay.
how long have you been doing that? And do you still do that just as much as you do your reselling YouTube channel?
No. So I have been streaming on Twitch since 2015, I think. It was an accident. So I got a PlayStation 4 for Christmas, and I was working so much that I didn't even unbox it until February. So I got it for Christmas, worked too much to unbox it, unboxed it in February. I was playing my favorite series, which is Dragon Age. That's my favorite video game series. And where's my, do I have one? Yeah. So on a PlayStation controller, I don't know if this is going to show up because it is the Death Stranding controller, but there is all these buttons, right? And then there is a share button, and that was the only button in the game I hadn't pressed yet. So I pressed it, and then it asked me if I wanted to sign up for a Hitbox account or a Twitch account. And the Twitch was purple, so I picked that one because the Hitbox I think was yellow or something, and I didn't like that. So I signed up for an account, and then suddenly I was live. And then I just kept doing it.
Was it slow growth, or did you have a bunch of people watching right away?
Because I was playing on the PlayStation, it was a bunch of people watching right away between Dragon Age, Inquisition, which is a very popular game series, and the fact that it was still a relatively new game that came out at the time. And then I went from that to The Last of Us. And if there is one thing that people like on the internet is watching people be scared out of their mind, and I don't do scary games very well. I am a giant baby. So it's a lot of screaming and
I don't like scary movies at all.
Like doing this with my controller to hide from whatever's there. So yeah, it was decent growth. But I was doing it a lot more then too. Like there was a point in time where I was streaming maybe like 40 to 60 hours a week.
Oh wow.
Like all of my spare time was spent doing that. Unfortunately, because of the pandemic, I stopped streaming as much, despite that probably being the best time to stream, because of the fact that I'm immunocompromised and I need IV fluids to maintain myself every 3 months. And I couldn't get them when I needed them because of the pandemic. Like they weren't letting people into the doctor's office to do that. So because I went like, I have to go every 3 months or things deteriorate health-wise very much. So I was trying to prolong that as much as possible. And then I finally got in and like I was having to do that. So instead of me getting it every 3 months, I was getting it every 5. So my health wasn't allowing me to, get up super early in the morning. Because what I was doing is I was getting up and streaming from 7 to 8:30, go to work, come back home, and then stream from like 7 to 10. So I was streaming like 4 days a week, 4 hours a day for a while. And this is Moxie, if you don't know.
No, I've seen her. And
I'm just, if anybody else is in the chat and wondering, like I'm getting upset because I get upset sometimes when I talk about my disability. So she's.
Yeah. What is it caused by? I think you've said it before and I looked it up and I can't remember though.
It's very long. I wouldn't expect anybody to remember that. It's called postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome dysautonomia.
Yeah, I looked it up one day when I saw you.
Yeah.
But I can't remember what happens.
Yeah, no, it's when I get monetized this year, one of the things I'm going to do is like once a week talk apart about disability. But I'm going to wait to do that until then and just make it a regular part of the channel. Because I know that there are a lot of people that have turned to reselling because they no longer can do a regular job, and that this is a great way for people to work a short amount of hours and still make a good amount of money.
Yeah.
So I know that there are a bunch of us here in the community, but it's not really talked about a whole lot.
Yeah. Or I've heard people say like then they can work when they feel good and not work when they don't. And, it doesn't depend on what their boss says they need to be in the office. So
yeah. So that's in the works. But yeah, I have that, and I have something called sensory neuropathy, which is caused by that. So that means that my small nerves don't work. So that's normally your touch and pain receptors. So I don't have feeling in my hands most of the time, which is why I like mugs. And I don't have feeling below my calf most of the time.
Interesting.
Yeah. And then I also have abnormally loose joints, hypermobile joint syndrome. So my joints dislocate too.
Does that cause a lot of pain, or is it just an annoyance with your joints?
It depends on which joints. My thumbs and my shoulders have done it so much to where it's just inconvenient. And if I can't put it back where it's supposed to go, or if it stays out of sockets, like sometimes it'll do a severe dislocation. And even if I get it in, because it was such a stretch, it won't stay in. So that gets uncomfortable. But normally it's the only one that's really painful is when my leg comes out of socket from my hip, because then I can't walk, and that's one of the few ones I can't fix by myself. I normally need someone to help me put it back in.
Wow. And have you had that since you were a kid, or is it like something that develops over time?
It's gotten worse over time.
Okay.
It's gotten worse. I've always had my shoulders come out of socket since I was little.
Okay.
But all the other ones just got worse over time. Now the legs have come out more over time because of roller derby. They actually, I've torn both of my iliopsis tendons, which is if you have, like, you have your joint here, right? You have your leg joint, and then you have your hip, right? This is your joint here. So there's something called an iliopsis tendon, which is like right here in your groin that connects your hip to this thing. And I've torn this in both sides from derby.
So can they fix it, or it just is in pain a lot?
It just means when it heals back, it's normally looser. So it's more likely to come out if I don't warm up.
You have I feel like you have such a wide range of hobbies. Reselling, I don't know if it's still reselling hobby or job, but reselling, and then Twitch and roller derby. Do you have others as well? Those are pretty, wide range of hobbies.
I mean, if it's nerdy, chances are I do it. I read a lot. That's one of the things I really enjoy talking Matt about Thrift of Life. He has another book channel, Book Spilled. I'll share pictures of vintage sci-fi books. Like, I'm very avid reader. I play D&D once a week with my friends.
I was gonna say Dungeons and Dragons if you're super nerd. That's like, I feel like top of the list.
I love board games. I love video games. Basically, for me, normally it's the monetizing things I enjoy doing as a survival tactic for being disabled for so long without knowing what it was. So, and then there are periods in my life when I didn't have health insurance. So that was super fun, going to the hospital 4 or 5 times a year. So it was more of reselling to pay hospital bills.
Yeah. So. But you have a job now that provides health insurance?
I do now, yes.
That's good for now, unless reselling becomes more profitable, or I don't know. Would you have a goal in mind? Because I know you wanted to go full time, or would ideally like to go full time.
Yeah. So actually, a lot of Josh, if he's still here, I sent him a message just telling him thank you. So, like, after spending the weekend with Jesse and Alicia and Victoria from Super Geek this weekend, like, half of them are full time and half of us were not. And then, like, listening to a lot of Josh talk, and then Veronica's doing her series about going full time.
Yeah, I've been watching it.
It's a lot of, like, not having health insurance is scary, but my POTS is managed enough to the point now to where I think that I would be okay. Just getting like the bare minimum marketplace health insurance. And then I'm working on paying everything off to where it's just the mortgage on the house. I'm a single female well, I'm not single because you guys see the boy all the time,
But
but I'm not married. So
yeah.
I'm an unmarried woman that, well, technically the bank owns the house, but like that owns my own house. Like once I pay off all the rest of my debt, which I'm on track to do it by the end of the year, then maybe that leap will be more comfortable.
Yeah.
So, but I want to make sure like I'm mentally prepared and financially ready to do that.
Yeah.
Like I could be in that situation that a lot of resellers that go full time have been in, where they like lose their job, but the only way I would lose my job is if I get tired and rage quit, which may still happen, but
That's funny. Yeah, you talked a little bit about your job and how sometimes it's stressful.
yeah, no, I appreciate you letting me chat with you about that too. I appreciate everybody. Like, I appreciate you being here, by the way. So I do a lot.
Like I said, I wanted to get to know you more anyways. So do you said, do you still stream on Twitch, or are you done with that entirely now?
Oh no, I still do it. I just it took a very far back seat for Twitch. So I do it now on Tuesdays and Thursday nights from 7 to 10.
Okay.
And I've mostly just been playing Stardew Valley because, as we were talking about earlier, that's one of the few games I can play at any point and be happy. Like that requires very little like cognitive effort on my part. It's a monotonous, chill, fun game.
You're like a recurring crew that comes every Tuesday.
I am very lucky. Yes. I have a few regulars that show up all the time. Even if I've like taken a couple weeks off, they still show up. Like it's just like with YouTube. Like if you don't upload for a while, you still see like the regular people in your comments that always comment.
Do you talk over there about your reselling stuff? And do they come over?
I do. They're very they've been very receptive. Like Second was here in chat at the beginning. She's actually from my Twitch community. She's bought stuff from me that she's found that she likes. There can be crossover for the two of them. So if you ever wanted to do Twitch, you could probably do that too. I know Tommy was doing restreaming for his show for a while on doing Twitch and YouTube at the same time.
So since you're a Twitch partner, what are the requirements to maintain that? Or is it like YouTube where, well, I guess technically you could lose it.
Well, so for partnership for Twitch, once you become partnered, unless you do something really bad or ask them to remove you from the partner program, you pretty much stay partnered. So there are definitely Twitch partners that have not streamed in like 6 years that are still partnered.
And do you get a payment just because you're a partner, or is it tied to your views?
It's tied to my views, but payment for that is tiered. So you have a contract that you sign as a partner. They have a base contract that has like a base split of your paid subscriptions. So people will subscribe to you for, $5, $10, or $25 a month. And they have a base amount that is split between the platform and the partner.
Okay.
You have a CPM for ads as well, but their CPM is just sadness when it's compared to YouTube. There's also, they have their own, I don't know if you knew it. I could talk about social media marketing and influence relations all the time, but do you know that there is a sponsorship board for YouTube where you can go and apply for sponsorships through YouTube? It's called FameBit.
Never heard of it.
I will type it in chat. It's called FameBit. But that is actually something, once you hit 5,000 subscribers on YouTube, that opens up to you, and it's just like here are some brands that you can partner with. Now, 100%, if you reach out to the brand yourself, you'll probably get a way better deal than what FameBit is. But what you can do is look at that and see which brands are accepting sponsorships. But Twitch has something similar. It's called a bounty board, but you have to apply to be a part of it, and not every partner gets a part of it. And I think it's only for YouTube. You think Twitch plays better. I can talk to you about that off stream because I'm not supposed to talk about it on stream. But and you can
plays better too.
when you do well, yes and no. It just depends on what platform you're on and what you're doing. So there are tiered creators on Twitch, even though they don't really talk about that. So you have your base rate. Once you hit about 500 subscribers, like paid subscriptions on Twitch, you have the ability to renegotiate if that maintains itself for 3 months or more.
Okay.
That's also normally when you can apply when they do TwitchCon again. If they decide to do TwitchCon again, to have a in-person meet and greet at the event, which they don't advertise either.
Have you gotten to that level?
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't stream enough. I don't wear makeup. Like, I wear more makeup for my lives on YouTube than I do in general. 90% of the time, you don't see makeup on me at all.
My husband was trying to get me to do a Twitch. He like pulled up the screen. I'm like, so what? Like, I'm not gonna put my boobs out or wear a dress like that. Like, this isn't gonna work.
No, but a lot of people watch me.
I was like,
no, a lot of people watch me. They just like here, whenever you do live content, like you actually get to know your people. Like I know so many things about, Second and Kubris because, I have a Discord. I link it in all my videos. I've mentioned it a few times. Like if you want me to help you identify something or if you just want to chat, like I have a Discord that has a thrift section that I've specifically opened up to YouTube community as well for help. And some people have noticed that it's there and take me up on it. Like I think Form is Content found me here on YouTube and then found that I had a Discord and then started watching me on Twitch as well. So like some people find out that there is crossover and then join me for both.
Like just go to twitch.com. Is that how this works? Twitch.tv. Okay. I'll have to, maybe tomorrow night I'll join it and watch for a little bit.
Well, yes, it would be tomorrow night, yeah.
Doesn't tell me anything I need to know about Twitch. He watches it a lot, so.
Yeah, Boone, YouTube bought FameBit, but there's a bounty board like that. There's also, they have, I'm really liking, I don't know, Tommy, how into Twitch you are right now, but they also have something called, what is it? Not reactive, proactive. It's interactive ads where an ad will play picture in picture and your chat will vote on something in the ad. And then like the streamer gets money because their chat participated in this ad. It's different and interesting. They also used to have a lot of other things. Like they tried to do have you heard of Steam before? Do you know what Steam is?
Because of my husband.
Okay.
I only know it because he downloaded some games on my computer. Now I have a Steam
So there's Amazon tried to do something similar. Like they had tried to make their own Steam and interactive it with Twitch. If you have an Amazon account, you actually have a lot of perks on Twitch by having an Amazon Prime account. Like you get a free subscription every month to a Twitch streamer of your choice. You get free games every month.
Jacob, you want to join in? He's over here nodding like.
He's like, yeah. I'm guessing he's the one taking advantage of all of those.
Yeah, well, he's told me before that it helps you get subscriptions because people get a free one with Amazon Prime, so they don't always have to pay.
Right.
So.
That's a good question. Have either of you tried considering Patreon? Before I got partnered, I did on Twitch because it used to be that unless you were partnered, there was no, I guess, no way to get paid for your efforts is the best way to say that. But now there are so many like third-party sites like Ko-Fi or Buy Me a Coffee or Patreon. Like there's so many other avenues to where if you're not at the point where you can monetize on the platform that you're on, you can still figure out a way for your community to reward you for your efforts. So
I've never considered it seriously. Sometimes I think that it would be nice to just have like a small group of consistent people that like I go live and list with every once in a while. I'm like, well, Patreon would be a good way to do that. But then I wouldn't want to ever charge people unless I could be consistent about delivering something of value to them. So
Well, have you thought about maybe doing Discord instead? Because you can just.
So I have a Facebook group for like listing accountability group, but I feel like
is that the one with Becky Park? Because I know she has something similar.
A listing accountability group until I created mine, and then I realized like she already had one. I'm like, how did I miss this? Like, I don't know. Like, I probably would have created one if I realized she already had one. But yeah, so the bad thing about it though is like I feel like people posting words is not as interactive as when you see other people's faces. 'Cause like we did one video call, and I felt way more connected to the people in the video call than I do to anybody else in the group, because it's just words on a screen are hard to connect with the person themselves. So yeah, that's why I don't know, sometimes I think it'd be nice to have like a live group where you actually see their faces all the time. But
well, I mean, have you thought about doing a live listing here or creating a second? Well, you already have a second channel. Creating a third channel for live.
That was part of my intention with the second channel, was to have live listing over there. And then my plan was personal videos and live listing. That's the goals of the second channel. And then I did the personal video and it blew up. And now I have all these people that have no interest in live listing that subscribe to that channel. So yeah, I don't know. I'm like, should I create a third? Should I just use that for live listing? And then maybe some of the people who subscribed will be interested. But like, I got like 5,000 subscribers from COVID, which they're not going to be interested in. Like,
but you haven't uploaded in what? How many months now? I'm pretty sure like if you just post, there might be like, why? How did I find? I think there's been enough time in between when they subbed for that video and when you upload again that it might just show up in their subscription feed and they're like, who is this person and why am I watching it? And then if you make like
all unsubscribe.
No, I don't think it would be like that.
I don't know. I just think that if I ever want to transition to non-reselling, then maybe I can get those people to watch. Like, I have ideas that would appeal to a wider audience. So if I created those videos, then maybe the 5,000 people would stay subscribed, or at least a larger portion of them, than if I just went to like a live listing where they're like, who is this? Like, why am I subscribed? I'm not interested in this. Versus maybe another topic that's something that'd be interesting to a wide audience. So that's why I haven't done anything yet. And I don't really want to create a third channel either. So
yeah, I think maybe just use the channel. I mean, the whole point of that channel was for you to just post whatever you wanted on, right?
Yeah.
Or do whatever you wanted. Then why are you now putting this like unnecessary constraint on yourself because you managed to do a viral video as your very first video on that channel?
I don't. It's a weird dilemma because I'm like, okay, I'm gonna do whatever I want over here, and then I do whatever I want, it blows up, and now I'm like, I can't do whatever I want. Now I can't do whatever I want because this video did too well.
Well, I mean,
and then the other thing too is this is my safe space where only the people who really like me for my main channel will actually go over here and watch my personal stuff. And then now it's like this channel where it's almost all strangers in terms of like, it's not just the people who've watched me forever. It's people who've watched 3 videos of mine about COVID. And that's it.
Yeah, I would listen here. I'm just gonna put Tommy's thing up here on channel. Yeah, it's if you haven't posted a video or done anything on that channel, it does soft reset in the algorithm. So like I said, those people that originally subscribed to you for that COVID content, it's going to show up in their subscription feed and they're like, who is this? Yeah. But if you're live and you're engaging and like doing stuff, I think you're not giving yourself enough credit on how interesting you are or how engaging you are as a person.
Well, I want the lives to not be like, I don't want to have to be worried about being engaging. Like, if I want to be able to just be listing and not even paying attention, and then I'll go pay attention to chat for a little bit and then list for a while and come back. So it's like truly like hang out with me and list live, and like I don't need to be super engaged.
Have you watched a lot of live listing videos or live listing?
I like the ones where the people are just seriously just like hanging out and listing, and like they're not like super into the chat, I guess. I don't know, because I also like watching Joey and Drew, and they're very involved in the chat, but I want to actually get listing done. Whereas I feel like Joey is really involved in the chat, but he doesn't get much listed. So I need to find somebody that will be just like super into the chat and I can list and be there.
I think that's why that works, is because it's actually very helpful for Drew because he is spending the time listing.
Yeah.
Whereas Joey is keeping the chat entertained.
Exactly. That's the thing, is like, I want, if I would do it, I would want to be one where I don't have to be like sitting and looking at the chat because I want to actually get listing done. But then it's not as engaging, which is why I wouldn't do it on my main channel, because I think it wouldn't be very, I don't know, it would only be people who are also listing that would want to be watching it, I guess.
Well, when would you want to be doing that? Would that be something on the weekend or during the week?
On the weekend, like if I have a day where I'm trying to list 50 items, and like if I had other people that were doing it too, and like some people could come in and join me live and like hang out, and then other people could watch and try to list from home. I don't know, I like the idea of that, so you're not alone so much.
Well, yeah, with StreamYard you can put it in chat and have people join you and stuff. Yeah. So I think
I feel like that's dangerous a little bit. So I might.
Well, I mean, you could, if someone pops in that is also listing, you could send it to them directly on Instagram or something. Yeah. But
yeah, that's what I imagine. But I don't know if I'll ever do it. I have a lot of ideas that I don't do. So
I do still think that it probably. Now, Josh, do they have like a music going on, like a royalty-free music going on in the background when they do that? Hello, go doggo. I really think that you're overthinking your second channel.
Yeah, probably. I like Jen's comment. Just have your sisters engage with the chat while you work.
Well,
they might prefer that.
Well, you can get your one sister who's like super excited.
Yeah, my youngest, Erin's her name. And she listed me for a summer and hated it because she was too lonely. And I'm like, yeah, I get it. It's, listing all day can be lonely. Okay, so they're talking about like getting a channel to, get views again, and talking about a lot of Josh's channel. So I kind of experienced that when I took 6 months off last year. And whenever, because I've done it multiple times because of exams where I've taken like a 2 months off at a time, or last year I did 6 months. And my key is like, I try to come back with a video I know people are going to want to watch. Because then like I could give myself a boost by like putting out a really good video that gets shared. I thought a lot of Josh's last video was really good. I've been actually meaning to share it. So Josh, remind me after this if I haven't done it. Because it was super interesting. And it's like a different perspective that people don't usually talk about. Like why you shouldn't go full time versus why you should, or like what you should think about versus people just being like, do it, go full time. It's the best. So
right. And that's something that Tommy's talked to him too. Like, I think Josh is a very interesting and very unique perspective in the space because this is his second time doing it.
Yeah. Yeah.
Versus like, it's not, I'm doing it for the first time. I've got this, as he stated, a honeymoon phase of I'm going to do it and it's going to be great. He's done it before. It didn't work out for him. And now he's like, I'm going to do this again, but I think I can do it better this time.
Yeah, I get super excited every time I see a video, especially lately when I'm like, ooh, what's going on now? Like, what's happening? What's the latest update?
No, Josh, I do think you should keep on with that series. Like you talked about in that video about, this is the first 3 things I want to talk about, but I think you should just keep doing that because I do think people are really interested in what you have to say, and you say things in such a thoughtful way. Like I think Cincinnati Picker said, what did you say? It's like you need to work like an employee, but think like an employer. That is very profound. Like you just need to write those things in a book somewhere. Or that could be your Instagram post. That would be one of those perfect like Poshmark Instagram posts, like motivational posts.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Okay, so Tommy's comment, Josh is very genuine, who relates to everyone. That's exactly what I was thinking. Is like Josh is just very relatable and very like humble, which I appreciate too. Some people have a big ego, and Josh never has a big ego, I feel like, which is nice.
So you want to get to 21,000 subscribers this year. Like why that number?
Just because it's 2021.
Oh, okay. I would have never thought of that.
It was like, something that was realistic, but would still take like consistency and good videos to get to. And it matched with the year, so that's why. because 20,000 was going to be too easy. 25,000 would be a stretch, and yeah, so I just said 21,000.
Now, why do you say 25,000 is a stretch?
Just based on, you know, if you look at the past data, how many subscribers I get each month. And even at the beginning there, 21,000 was a stretch based on what I got last year, because I didn't post much. I think I posted like 15 videos last year or something. So based on last year's data, 21,000 was going to be hard. But that's what happens when you consistently post. You get subscribers. So,
there you go. Easy YouTube advice right there. Just post consistently.
Good content, I guess, because I haven't been extremely consistent, but I've tried to make some good videos this year too.
Yeah, your videos are very good.
Thanks.
So you made the women's jeans video, and you haven't really added anything more to that series.
Yeah. Do you know the drama behind that?
Yeah, the one girl.
Yeah. Okay, so I did the jean video about women's jeans, and then I posted a poll asking people what they wanted me to do next. And women's dresses won by a long shot.
Right.
And then a few days later, or like a week later, I'm scrolling my YouTube and I see this video that's like the top 10 women's jeans brands that sell well, or I don't know what it said. I'm like, oh wow, this is really similar to like the video I'm planning. Like, let me see what she says. And I click on it, and it's my video, like my video, like my format, the way I did the research. The intro is almost word for word the same as my video. So then I'm like, what do I do now? Like, well, I called her out. She took the video down, but like, I'm not like, what do I do now? Because this was like, her video was my video. Like, that's exactly what I was going to do. The brands are pretty much exactly the same as what she said. And the words are pretty much exactly the same as what I was going to say. So then, yeah, so then I just kind of sat on it and didn't do it. And I did a men's video, and then I thought about doing the dress video again. And I'm like, I just don't want to do it. Like, I just have this bad taste in my mouth now about this video. So it's not that the series won't happen again. I just don't think I'm going to do the dresses.
Oh, by the way, I did the account heels, but she said I could do it. So
yeah, no, and you didn't copy me word for word either. That's a big difference too. And you didn't take the idea that I was planning to do, which also made me frustrated. Like, I already started the research too. But yeah, and you gave me credit and you asked for permission and all that. All types of things were different in that situation. So.
Plus, I tried to make sure I'd show something you had no interest in doing. It was just something I was hyper interested in at the time.
I think it's awesome. Like, I would love that. I just hated that I was working on that video. And then she said exactly what I was going to say in my video. I'm like, really? So, yeah, that was an interesting situation. But I'm glad that, I don't know. I don't want to get into it too much, but I'm just glad that at the end she took it down and admitted that she did copy me instead of just continuing to say, I've never seen her channel. I'm like, how did you say exactly what my video said if you never see my channel?
Yeah, no, I actually checked that before I went on to see if that video was still down or not. I do check once a month to see if it's still down or not. Yeah,
I maybe pat myself on the back. I never look, which is probably a good sign that I've moved on.
Yeah, no, I don't move on. I don't forget stuff like that.
I don't remember the girl's first name. I remember her last name, but yeah, I can't remember her first name. I know if it comes up, I'll be like, oh, that's the girl, but yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no. I thought that was so... I just don't understand. Have you thought about Tommy's suggestion, making your own manifesto like Matt does, except for women's clothing? Or is that just too much work? Have you seen his manifesto? He just dropped it today.
I haven't, and another video that's on my idea list. So I should just like write these down, because honestly I have all these videos in my head, but I like have lists all over. But anyways, one of them is to take his manifesto and just go through the men's section and just look for items that are on it, and like don't look up comps. Just go through like 5 stores, only use his manifesto, and then get home and like look up comps and see how it goes.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, I want to do it, but I haven't got the manifesto yet because I have too many other things on my priority list. But that's on my ideas list, is to download it and like just spend a day going to stores only looking for things on his list and see what I can find. But
that'd be a really good video.
I want to do it, but I also have 800 things I want to do. So
Oh, Go Dog Do accidentally brought something up to me that I meant to ask you. So the last live I did, I was asking who did I go live with last? Like what their demographics were for their channel over the last 365 days. So what are your demographics? Considering you primarily do Poshmark posts, are you predominantly women to men?
My videos are like, well, so I'm going to look at the last video because my Birkenstocks video skews like all my data. So if I look at just my last video, which is like a more typical audience, I have 93% female viewers, which is pretty normal for my videos, like 90 to 95% female. And then age, let's see, 20% are under 35. So 80% are over 35, which I find really interesting, especially because it's Poshmark, which people think is younger. But my viewers are almost all older than me, which I think is, I don't know, I think that surprised me when I first started looking at my data.
Most of my viewers are also older than me too, so I understand that. I think it's just reselling and YouTube. I think reselling content for the younger audience is on TikTok.
Maybe. I don't know. It's just surprising me because Poshmark seems like a younger person thing. YouTube, I feel like it's everybody. Like young people watch it, kids watch it, older people watch it. So yeah, I have like 25%, 35 to 40, 25%, 45, 50, 25%, 55, 65. So pretty split there.
Yeah, I've noticed like, so the first year I did YouTube, it was very heavy female to male, like very heavy on women. But over the last year, it has completely flip-flopped.
Really? How'd you do that?
I have no idea. The thing I think is skewing that is that I had one short get picked up in India.
Oh, okay.
Because I did one short just to try it, and then YouTube changed their stuff to where shorts don't count towards your monetization anymore. And I was like, well, I'm not doing that again. And
if you look at like your last reselling video, what's your stats on that?
Let me look. I'd have to look on that. But
like not, I just look at an individual video because the Birkenstocks one just skews all the data.
Yeah, then I had another video recently that got picked up by YouTube for some reason, and it got to like 2,000 views, which is a lot for my videos.
One of your YouTube videos did?
Yeah, and it was a thrift with me, and it got picked up for some reason.
I think thrift are really hot right now. Like, I guess I would have said that 6 months ago, but I mean, your video is another example. People are just interested to see what people find and to go along with.
Let's see here. I'm trying to bring up my analytics. Hold on. Audience. It's not giving me gender and demographics, so let me go to my next video. And it also, like, sometimes I'll share a video into different Facebook groups too, so that kind of skews things sometimes as well. I know that's part of why sometimes my demographics get skewed to older, because I'll share it on Facebook groups.
Okay, interesting. I haven't shared my videos there, but I have seen them shared sometimes, and the comments are usually interesting to read.
Really? How do you find out that your video has been shared on YouTube if you're not the one doing it?
On Facebook, people will message me and say, "Hey, someone shared your video in this group." So that's usually how I find out.
That's kind of cool, though.
Yeah, technically you can see it in your data that it was shared, but you can't see like where on Facebook it's at. It just says like, you know, I don't know what it even says. It says something about Facebook, like this many shares or this many likes or something. So you can see that it's being talked about somewhere, but usually I don't know where it's at. But then sometimes people will message me and tell me. So.
Okay, that removed that. So will it give me my audience now? No, it will not give me age and gender without that skewed thing at all.
Maybe it, even that one that you have like 2,000 views on.
Yeah, if I include that, it gives me age and gender, and all of my ages suddenly skew younger than me. And also it's like 80% male.
Interesting. Wow.
Oh no, I learned that the hard way when I started out Twitch, Josh. Never share videos on. If you want a video to do well on Reddit, you have to find one of your friends to share it on Reddit, because if you're associated with it at all, no.
I do check Reddit every once in a while. It's because videos of mine have been shared there, and I know a couple Reddit users' names because whenever one of my videos shared, it's usually them. So I'm like, I don't know who they are, but I know their Reddit names because they've shared my videos more than once there. So thanks to them, whoever they are.
Well, that's a good question. Second, do you have a dream item that you would want to find cheap for resale?
I don't know. I actually got asked this the last live I did, and I'm like, I really need to come up with a better answer because I don't know. A dream item. I don't know. Nothing specific comes to mind. I have all these different brands I want to find, and obviously clothing is where I feel most comfortable, so that's where I have the most knowledge. I guess right now I want to find those rare purple Fiesta plates. Because especially if we found a whole set, I couldn't believe the comps were crazy. What people were paying for just a couple bowls, like a couple $100.
Yeah. Retired stuff. Well, H3 has a monster Reddit channel because they have a monster podcast. If you get a very large community doing anything, you can have your own Reddit channel. Maybe if you word that a little bit different, I can help you a little bit better. But a cheap item for resale, I mean, that Pyrex piece was amazing, but that wasn't intentional or something I was looking for. It just happened to be one of the rarest Pyrex pieces you could find.
That's so cool. Yeah.
I would like to find more Yohei Yamamoto in my size, but that would be for resale. It'd be for me to keep.
Is that fashion designer?
Yeah, Yohei Yamamoto is Japanese.
Is it like fluffy dresses, floral dresses, or okay?
No, he does a lot of deconstructed, reconstructed looks, a lot of login looks. He's a Japanese designer, deals primarily in black, white, and gray.
Okay. Interesting.
He also has a diffusion line with Adidas, his Y3 line as well. Everything he makes, I just want, but it's so expensive. It's full designer stuff. Like I just troll the real, and whenever one of his pieces that comes up in a size medium on clearance, it's instantly in my cart.
You buy it?
Yeah, the real. I will pay $13 for a pair of Yohei Yamamoto pants.
Oh, okay.
If you have not tried sourcing on the real before, you should give it a try, because they do super clearance sometimes on older stuff where they're just trying to get rid of it.
I have stuff. Oh, I sent in boxes of ThreadUp in the real, and ThreadUp I'm done now. Everything is sold or sent back to me, but the real I still have like a few items, and they're getting discounted heavily at this point.
Yeah, I normally don't send anything to the real unless I have absolutely zero interest listing it, or it's a brand like Stella McCartney or Adidas, unless it is within a year as far as seasonality goes. So if it was released in 2020 or 2021, you can get a decent amount for it if it's new with tags. If it's not new with tags, you're better off sending it to the real.
So that's in line with what Go Dog Go said. Is that, are you guys finding certain genre styles or items that sell better within clothing? So
for me personally, it is, I look for natural fabrics because that's what I can wear because of I normally have severe allergic reactions if I wear something that doesn't breathe. So I try to stick to cotton, linen, silk, and wool for me personally. But, I've said it before, and mostly for Matt, I have also noticed a trend that if it is linen for the last 2 or 3 months, it doesn't matter the brand. If it's 100% linen, it is selling.
I think I heard that from Matt and you and Lori Tata. So I think all three of you said that. But For me, like, I guess I find the best items in Iowa generally in the shoe section. So when I'm looking there, I'm looking for like leather bottoms, leather material. Like if it's a plastic sole, or if you look inside the shoe and there's no brand, and on the base there's no brand, probably not a very good shoe. Like most of the expensive shoes have their, their brand everywhere. And if it's leather or if it's a really heavy shoe, those are good signs that they're worth some more money.
I keep meaning to make a video and I keep just not doing it. There's American Duchess is one of my favorite shoe brands that I personally spend full retail for. They do historic reproduction shoes, and they're all leather bottoms. Mm-hmm. And there's something that I do to help protect them that I keep meaning to make a video, because while if you like step on a rock or something, it'll indent the leather, but it'll keep the leather from scratching. So I keep meaning to make a video about it for like people that find like Louis Vuittons and stuff, like red bottoms, or people that do like high-end leather shoes or find high-end leather shoes. Mm-hmm. It's a really cheap thing that you can do and be like, oh, well, I added protection to it or something like that.
Cool. Well, I'm going on a dog walk in a little bit, so.
Oh yeah, no, go ahead and go. I feel bad. I realize we're getting at the 1:30 mark, so.
No, thank you though. I'm excited, and I was excited when you asked me to be on, and I had fun. And thank you guys all for joining. So many familiar names in the chat and some new ones too.
Okay, so if you have any questions, I guess leave them in the comments and I will try to get Amber to answer them.
Yeah, just let me know if there's one that I need to answer. And I'll try to take it back. So.
Okay, well, thank you guys all for being here. Amber, thank you for being here as well. I know this wasn't a smooth wrap up, but that's just because I got distracted by talking to her. So.
No, that's what I wanted though, was a casual conversation. This is perfect.
All right, so I will see you guys in the next video, and Amber will see you in her next video. Bye.
Bye.